Hey, what's going on, everybody? How you doing? I'm Dr. Boyce Watkins from Your Black World in the Black Business School. I'm about to go do something that's really going to be interesting. I'm going to go out and actually run a 5K today. It'll be my first ever 5K. And so what I'm going to do is, when I'm there, I'll take some pictures and a little video so you can have evidence that I actually ran the damn thing. It's not something I ever really thought I was going to try to do because I kind of gotten fat beyond repair. And I just really didn't want to run, but I had a friend that pushed me really to do it, and I really don't regret it. I'm really happy to do it. I'm looking forward to it. And I wanted to hit you guys up this morning to somebody asked me what I thought about some recent stuff going on with Jason Whitlock, who's a brother that's on Fox Sports. Jason Whitlock says a lot of things that are pretty controversial. I know that when just recently when LeVar Ball, the father of Lonzo Ball, went on a show and upset a white woman. I think Charlemagne took issue with it, with what Jason did in terms of caping for the white woman, to defend her honor against the violent, scary black man. But anyway, the interesting thing about it is that, give me a second. You ready? We're about to go? Okay. Okay. Well, we're about to go in a minute, but anyway, so somebody asked me what I think about LeVar Ball, and I said, well, I'm not LeVar Ball. I already talked about LeVar, so I'm not going to talk about that. But by the way, I don't have a lot of time, so that's why I'm going to have to talk quickly. But um, as far as Jason Whitlock goes, my position on Jason is long held. For the last 10 years, now I've never been a fan of Jason's. I actually called him back in the day, back when I was a little less mature in certain ways. I actually called him Fat Bastard from Austin Powers. You remember Austin Powers? Fat Bastard was the guy who played Austin Powers' nemesis, the little fat guy that was saying, "Let me eat your babies. I'm gonna eat your babies." So he's like really fat and he would like want to eat people's kids. And so Jason Whitlock, to me, I called him Fat Bastard because he kind of got on my nerves, and he still does. I just don't pay much attention to him. But here's what I think about recent incidents. I think that Jason, really caping for that white woman in the LeVar Ball incident was kind of silly. I think that LeVar, he can hold his own. I don't like everything about about LeVar Ball's approach, but I wish him good luck. I hope he makes a lot of money. I personally am not a fan of the idea of stealing all the attention away from your kids. I personally wouldn't do that, with my children, but at the same time, he's his own man. He can do what he wants. And I hope he sells a lot of shoes. I'd love to see him succeed at what he's doing. As far as Jason Whitlock goes, Jason's kind of he's the black guy that white people hire because, he says the things that white people want to hear. Same thing with Stephen A. Smith. They say things that are controversial, some things that come off as anti-black, and it just that's what they get rewarded for. And what happens is it becomes a Ben Carson effect. If you look at LeVar Ball, Stephen A. Smith, and Ben Carson, they're kind of similar in a certain way. If you look at them independently without the influence of the white boss daddy who's paying their bills, I believe that these are black men who would fit very, very comfortably in the black community. They go to your family picnic, family barbecue. They got cousins and relatives that they love and they take care of. But they have an opinion that's a little bit different. And I think that typically in those conditions, unaltered conditions, you would have them adding diversity to the conversation, which I think is valuable. Black people, the problem that we have right now is we don't have enough diversity. Everybody needs to be a liberal in order to fit in. That's why the Democratic leadership can insult you and pretty much call you a nigger in every way imaginable by complete disrespect, but you'll say nothing. But then if a Republican says good morning, it's like, oh, there's that motherfucker, the nerve of that. It's kind of like we're sort of programmed in our outrage. We're limited in our scope of outrage. We can't be outraged. We can't be outraged about what a liberal says about us. But if a conservative says one thing, even if it's a good idea, we are wired to just hate that person because they're conservative. And I'm not a fan of that. I'm a fan of all ideas, good and bad. I see racism on both sides of the table. I see good ideas on both sides of the table. For example, the liberals are right. We need to deal with mass incarceration. We need to deal with, support people with social programs and all that. And the conservatives are right about, some of the aspect of do for self. I think black conservatives that really want to do for self are just the people that are tired of these damn liberals telling you that you can't do nothing for yourself. You ain't never going to compete as long as somebody's convincing you that you can't do nothing for yourself. It's sick. It's a sad, sick mentality. So my position on Jason Whitlock is that I don't like Jason. I really don't. I don't want to be on a show with him. I don't want to really talk to him. I don't, I think that white paycheck distorts your point of view. But at the same time, I heard Jason say that he was talking about he had a divergent point of view on the LeBron James situation where LeBron got his house graffitied. I love LeBron, by the way. I think LeBron, the way he does business is extraordinary. I think he's extraordinarily conscientious for an athlete. I think that he is a good guy. I really like LeBron. And so, but now I can understand though. I think Jason took issue with LeBron comparing what happened to him to what Emmett Till's mother went through when Emmett Till died. I think that maybe Jason or whomever could help clean that up a little bit and make sure that we know he's not comparing graffiti in your house to death, to somebody dying. Also, I think that there is a difference. I think that Jason made a point that there is that there's a difference between being poor and black and being poor and rich. And I do agree with that. I think most people know that. And that's why I'm big on pushing wealth building, because there's a difference between being poor and black versus poor and rich. There's also a difference between being poor and black and being poor and black and being powerful and black. So for example, in my own world, I feel powerful, not just because I'm doing okay and I can pay the bills, but because I own my own stuff. And because I own my own stuff, when white people roll up on me, they don't roll up on me offering me a job. They roll up on me asking me for a job, or they'll ask me for a partnership or whatever, because they respect the territory. Every man must have his own domain, and black men have not been trained that. They're taught that because black men have been taught by white supremacy to be weak and uncompetitive, and to be docile, and to be a sharecropper. And so ultimately, and you have some wealthy sharecroppers out here too. If Fox Sports took away that paycheck, if ESPN stopped backing Stephen A. Smith, he would lose his power. I need like 2 more minutes. And so anyway, bottom line, point blank period. I think that Jason had a point, but I think it's kind of coming from the wrong person. I think that Jason, unfortunately, like Stephen A. And Ben Carson, has allowed their deep connections to white supremacist institutions to bastardize who they really are. I think Ben Carson, I remember when about 10, 15, 20 years ago, my mother used to talk about Dr. Ben Carson all the time as an example of what hard work can do for you as a black man. And I thought it was a great example because he became one of the greatest surgeons in the world. And white supremacy did not give him all of that. White supremacy might have gave him some opportunities. Maybe he got through with a little bit of cooning. I don't know. But last time I checked, to be a surgeon, it don't matter who loves you. If you can't do the work, if you haven't done the studying and done the training, you're not going to get a chance to be a surgeon. You're certainly not going to get a chance to be one of the most respected surgeons in the world. So I think that we can give Carson credit for that, while at the same time being openly critical and challenging his alignment with Donald Trump. His alignment with Donald Trump is what waters down his greatness. Stephen A. Smith sucking the butts of the people at ESPN. That waters down the contribution of his diversity as a black man. Jason Whitlock, in his affiliation with Fox, waters down what he could bring to the table as an independent black man. So I think that's where the issue comes in, and I think that we can see the subtleties of it without making it either an all or thing. Like either I completely love this guy or I can't stand him. I think that you could say, you know what, here's where he's doing okay, but here's where he's really messing up. And that's what I really want to train you guys to kind of think about in all of this, so that you can kind of grow beyond this whole all or nothing mentality that's kind of taken over this country. So anyway, that's my point of view. I'm sure somebody will call me a coon or a sellout because I'm not getting into the ignorance, but I'm sorry, you don't come to me for ignorance. You come to me for something different, and I'm giving you something different. So anyway, I'm about to go run this 5K today. I'm really excited. I'm gonna tell you guys all about it. Also, one thing I want to throw at you is a little tip, help you get through the day. Here's the thing. A lot of people have anger. A lot of times you're going to have anger. You're going to have people that don't like you, people that are mean to you, people that make you mad, people that disappoint you, and all that anger is going to hit you. So what I encourage you to do is remember that anger is energy. Anger is energy. Energy can be used to build. It can be used to destroy. It can be used to propel, or it can be turned inward and cause you to eat yourself alive. What I encourage you to do is whatever energy you have, good and bad. If you're feeling good, use that energy for something that's going to boost you. Use it to push you to work harder. If you're feeling bad and frustrated, push it outward. That means work harder. If you're feeling confused about life and it's stressing you out, push it outward. Push harder. You know, remember that energy can always either be pushed outward or turned inward. If you turn it inward, it's going to eat away at you. It eats away at you like stress and depression and stuff like that. And depression is nothing but anger turned inward. So instead of being angry at the world or fighting against your oppression or fighting against your obstacle, you're fighting against yourself. So don't fight yourself. Go fight the battle. You know what I'm saying? Go fight the obstacle. That's what I want you to do. So go fight the obstacle. That's my little 2 cents for today. Because you can overcome it. There's nothing you can't do in this world if you don't put your mind to it. So anyway, I'm about to go. We actually do have a program on motivation, goal setting, all kinds of stuff. Overcoming obstacles, dealing with haters. It's really sort of my personal library on how I deal with all of that stuff. And if you're interested, the first month is totally free. You can go to blackkeystogreatness.com. That's blackkeystogreatness.com. You sign up, it will cost you nothing. The first month is totally free. If you like it, you can stay, and even the monthly fee is very, very low. It's lower than the cost of a trip to the movies, but it will change your thinking and elevate your thinking to the point where you achieve a lot of goals that you didn't find possible before. Also, finally, if you want to get a free lesson on how to start building wealth, again, totally free, go sign up at intellectualchocolate.com. That's intellectualchocolate.com. That's the name of my podcast, Intellectual Chocolate. And don't forget, I'll be in Philly July 7th that weekend. Also, I'm going to be at the All Black National Convention September 29th through October 1st. And then everybody who's in London who keeps asking when I'm coming to London, I'll be there. And so anybody who's asking about the Breakfast Club interview, I hit Charlemagne up this morning, and Charlemagne told me he thinks it's going to run on Monday, but I don't know if they're going to run it. That's not my show. That's why I like owning my own stuff, because you get to decide when it's going to run. But I'm out of here, guys. Have an awesome day. I love you, and I'll talk to you soon. Peace.